I think what you have to remember is that policemen are used to investigating murders where the cause of death is pretty apparent. So in a hospital environment, police officers are very, very reliant upon the doctors to point them in the right direction. What I learned through doing the Beverley Allitt inquiry was that often, if the perpetrator of a crime is one of the nurses and one of those that's identifying children that have collapsed and died, then it's often their view that is reflected in the nursing notes and ultimately the doctor's notes. So the doctor that is overseeing is getting a corrupted view of what's actually occurred.
Many of our viewers will remember Beverley Allitt, who was convicted of killing 4 children and attempting to kill another 3 as well back in the 1990s. How did you eventually find out that she had been responsible?
Once we'd managed to establish that there was a criminal act occurring at Grantham Hospital, we looked in detail at which nurses were dealing with each of the patients. We discovered that one nurse, Beverley Allitt, was there on virtually every occasion. We charted the nurses who were actually engaged on the ward. We charted their shifts against the collapses of children and sent that information to a statistician. And the statistician came back and said, looking at this, there is only one person that could be responsible for the collapses of children on that children's ward at Grantham Hospital, and that's Beverley Allitt.
And the interesting thing, Stuart, is that's the same way that Lucy Letby was found, isn't it, in terms of the investigation?
It's very much the same in the sense that she is the only nurse that has been on duty when each of those children has collapsed.
From what you know about Beverley Allitt and other cases like this, what do you think the motivation is for people like Allitt and for Letby to do what they have done?
Well, I think it's fair to say that nobody expects somebody that joins a caring profession to do some of the criminal acts that we saw in the Beverley Allitt trial. Having said that, once convictions were in, the defence in the Allitt case suggested that she was suffering from Munchausen syndrome by proxy, which is a syndrome where the nurse causes the injury in the hope of getting recognition or kudos as the carer. And whilst that has been slightly superseded in the sense that they now say that it is not a cause for committing crime, but an explanation for it, it certainly fits with my belief that Beverley Allitt liked to be centre stage. She liked the kudos of finding collapsed babies. So I think that there's a parallel here from what I've read in the media with Letby, who also seemed to like to be centre stage.
Are there any other similarities that you've seen in the cases?
Well, there are. During the investigation, Allitt was suggesting that perhaps there was a bug on the ward, perhaps there was something wrong with the heating or plumbing, and Letby has offered similar explanations. The explanations are a means of trying to move the blame from themselves either onto other people or onto the premises themselves.
Stuart Clifton, we really appreciate your insight and thank you for spending a bit of time with us. Thank you.